So I am getting ready for the last wedding that I'm going to be doing for the company I work for in town. I am still employed to another wedding company, the newer one that I probably mentioned a few videos ago, where they pay me a lot more than the one in town here. And so I'm not quitting weddings, but I am like slowing down on it, I guess, because the other one, there aren't much gigs around the area, I suppose. But just to pay more, I think it's kind of more worth it in the end that I work with them still, and I get to choose which weddings I get to go to. They don't assign it for me. I choose which weekend I want to use, and that's a little bit better for me. I have a little more time. I can't. I'm not pressured to like be forced to do it. So I like that a little more. So the reason why I am leaving the company here in Springfield is mainly because money. They don't really pay me enough for what I do for the couples. I definitely do a lot more than the normal wedding videographer would do for this type of pay or this type of work, but they do somehow expect like you to go all out for them, and I do that, but they don't seem to recognize that or care that you did. The other reason why I'm leaving them is because I actually do want more time in the weekends for myself. So yeah, I want a little more freedom during the spring and fall time to be able to do projects, because those are usually when there are projects in the area, and when the weekend's not available, I can't do it. So I just kind of want to show my setup for the gimbal I'm going to use for this wedding. It's not much different really. Instead of the USB-C cable connected to the gimbal, I'm using it to power the camera instead. I'm just running regular LPE6 batteries into my camera. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to shoot raw. This is the last wedding I am filming for this company, and I kind of want to go all out for it. I think the venue we're going to is a very beautiful venue as well, so let's capture as best we can, right? And R5C raw is 8K, and that kind of sucks, but I could manage. I've done the calculations. I don't need to calculate. I just turn it on. It'll tell you. Like, I'll show you right now. And right now, this is a 512 gigabyte card running at 20 frames per second. This is raw light, by the way. I can only do 65 minutes, so I only have that long. If I change it to 60 frames per second, I only have 26 minutes. So this is major data hoarding right here. Highly unnecessary, but like I said, I kind of want to go all out. I kind of want to just kind of do it, see what we come up with it. The second card is just a regular V9 V30 card. That's recording a sub recording 1080p. So I'd rather have backup recording that's 1080p than none. So there's that. But yeah, I had it set up for the previous gig, and once in a while I would actually switch to USB-C to the gimbal so I can actually control recording and the focus of the lens, and that helped a lot. Like I, I've done a lot of research on trying to like make the setup work, but I just don't want to take the risk, and I don't think it's worth it. Like after this, I probably won't be using this gimbal for a very long time, so I'm like, it's fine, you know. So yeah, that's that setup. Um, Here are the cards. I always bring extra cards with me just in case, you know. I'd rather like have the ability to film something with a lower card, like 1080p, than say that I can't record anything because my V90 cards are broken or something. So I have two extra V90 cards here. These are for my C70s. I have one in the camera already. It's a 128 gig. That will probably last, I think I said like 26 minutes or so. That's recording raw light as well. It's not 8K, so it's different. And then I have two more here, which will last me the whole day. I'm not a huge fan of switching cards because that gives you like more. um, more possibilities of forgetting to do it. So I'd rather use one card for the whole day. I know a lot of people might think otherwise, or they have their thoughts about that. But um, I run 4 cameras, so like there's a lot of things I do anyways, and there's a lot of audio setup, blah blah blah. So yeah, then I have my V30s here. These are 170 megabits per second. These are the older ones. I know the new V30s are 200 megabits per second. So that's pretty impressive how technology has increased. More V30, and then I have like this is the for my FAN. Um, I don't know, like it just didn't record on this B card for one recording, one take. And I told him to just take it out. We'll use one of these here. So that's what I did. And I bought this for our trail cameras when we had the farm. We used to have a farm, like it was the older farm. And it's just been hanging around doing 2 micro SD cards just in case, along with adapters in case I need to transfer. And here are our CF Express Type B cards. The only capacities I have is 150 gigs and 128 gig. So I can't record much on the R5C, which I don't anyways. I've kind of switched my shooting patterns with R5C. It's just oddly the way it turned out. I don't shoot on it that much. I start the ceremony with it, and then I shoot the couples sessions, and then I shoot the grand entrance, and if they have a send off. That's basically it. So I don't use it for dancing or any other thing. I don't use it. I might use it for B-roll here and there, depending. But like, I just stay in my C7 the whole time. So yeah, I barely use R5C. Mainly because the gimbal's heavy. I'm getting older. My back isn't as great, so I don't want to destroy my back anymore. So I kind of stay off the gimbal as much as I can. That's the main reason. But that's the reason why I'm doing this. I don't know if I showed this yet, but I 3D printed this. I didn't design it. Someone else designed it. But I 3D printed this so when I send the cards to the office, I would have, or they would have like very organized cards. The way they originally did it, they just had us throw our cards in a bag. And then I was like, this is extremely terrible. Like, you guys need a better system. So I 3D printed, first I 3D printed this version here, which is just SD cards. And as you know, I have like millions of SD cards. And then I eventually got, this originally comes with micro SD cards on the side, which I use micro SD cards, right? But then I can't label it. So I started putting them in the adapters. And that's why I only have SD cards here. Then I eventually got my R5C, and I use CF Express Type B. So someone designed a CF Express Type B for this case, and I printed it. And I redesigned it so this side would be a regular SD. This side also is micro SD, but this is what I do with micro SD. I just put the card in here. It's labeled and so forth. F2, bride. The rest is groom, unit 3, and then the F3. So yeah, it's very organized and it's utilized well. This is very shiny because this is PETG. This is not PLA. PLA, for some reason, this case specifically, the latch broke when I first printed it, and it was very loose when it opened. So I did PETG, see if it worked better, and I think it does. I also created these little Velcro labels here. You can tear it off. If I can do it with one hand. I can switch. Good to go. So forth. So yeah, I have the Velcros there. I haven't been using this for the recent weddings just because I've bought a TX660 from Sony, and that doesn't use any SD cards. So instead of transferring that to an SD card and then bring this over there, I've just been putting into my SSD, just giving them that, and like, here's a folder. They just transfer it through there. It's a lot easier because sometimes I need my SD cards like again, like pretty soon. So I'd rather do that because I don't need an SSD. I just use the SD card, and uh, I just leave it in here. I still use this every time I transfer stuff. I keep them in here just in case. So I still use it for my purposes. But yeah, I would put a label here. I put the date on the label, and then I would put the bride and the groom's name there, and they would know. And they cannot mess it up. Like the organization system here is like so like good that I've created that if they mess it up, then they like just were not paying attention. So yeah, that's that. Since I'm showing all my setup, I'll show my hard case I bring with me. This is the Apache, I think 5600, 5800, whatever. It's the rolling case, the Pelican 1510, I think, equivalent. So, yeah, this is, you can put this on airlines. This is my thigh strap here I use for my brides. And I just washed it, so I'm just leaving it to dry. That's why it's like that. But we'll start from the bottom here. I have my R5C, not R5C. This is my EOS R. This is my D camera. And then this is the FX30. This is my C camera. So, but then I've started using my FX30 for toast and other things like First Dance, whatever it might be. Just because when I have my setup from R5C, I will use dummy batteries and I can't exactly put that onto a tripod. So I just use this. So the reason why I've switched my gimbal setup is I might want to switch to the R5C instead of using this. Just because it has that extra second base ISO that's higher than the FX30. But overall, it doesn't matter to me really. So then here's the Sigma 1835. I use this only for basically like the dancing, and I want more light because it's f1.8. Sometimes I use it for wide shots. If not, whatever. Here's my Canon 15-35, which I rarely use. I think I only used it once, and that was only because like I was outside too. Because the 24-70 on my C70 was just a little bit too tight for me. They're doing a bunch of group photos, and I just thought I'd capture it. So right here is my Canon 24-105. And I have a bunch of cables here. That's just there. Really, I don't like the fact that I put it here on top of this lens, which is the Tamron 17-70, and this is for the FX30 there. So that lives there. And then this is my Tamron 70-200 here. So I have an adapter, EF adapter for my FX30, and I just attached that for the ceremony. Then during the reception, I take that off and I put the 17-70 on. For the lid, so top of extras. These are just extras, basically adapters. They're adapters, audio adapters. But extras, I just have a bunch of weird stuff in there. Some of it I can't even use. I just put in there because I have nowhere else to put it. Some of it's for the C70, whatever. But I have my earplugs there, adapters. This is for any kind, basically XLR to quarter inch or quarter inch to 1.8 or 1.8 to XLR, whatever it might be. Now the straps here. So the thigh strap will go up here once it's dry. It's pretty dry right now, but then I bring this too. I used to not bring it, and then I got to a gig and they're like, "Do you have like a strap not for the thigh?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't bring it," so I bring that too. Then I have more audio cables here, tools, bunch of different stuff in there. I have a scissor in there. I have a multi-tool that is very handy. Small rig multi-tool here. You guys know what it is. I have F2s here. I don't like how I organize it. It's just there jambling around, but I have nowhere else to put it really. I have 3 here. I have HDMI cable, and I put my Sony TX660 there. So the HDMI cable label, it's like whatever really. Sometimes I put my Zoom F1 there, not F1, H1N. but I barely use that, so it's not there right now. But that's the hard case. Here's the doctor bag. So here's my C7. This is the main camera I use. So monitor on top here. The lens that lives on that is a Tamron 24-70. And yeah, that's basically it. On this side, I've packed 3 ZG Cine battery V mounts. One of it's for my R5C, and then I just brought 2 just in case. One will be for the light, which I'll show in a second. Then I have my Core SWX batteries here for my C70, where I can plug in DTAP to power my monitor and keep things easy. I have an MPF here. Under that is another C70 battery. Then I have AA's, AAA's, another MPF. Then I have a top handle. That's for my FX30 because I like top handles. Then I have this V-mount rig here, which I might use for R5C. We'll see. The lights I plan to bring, or the light rather, is my Godox ML30 bicolor. Now I've been bringing the 60 bicolor, but the recent set I was on, something happened to the 60 watt, and it can't turn on anymore. So I don't know what's wrong with that. I would like to fix it. I'm out of warranty, unfortunately, but I like to fix it so I can have the ML kits with me. It's gonna run off V-mount battery. It's the cable for it, and I'm probably just gonna bring this little silicone diffuser here. That's kind of a China ball style. So yeah, it collapses small, so it's nice. Batteries here. I'm gonna bring the phone so I can control that with. I don't want to match. I don't know what the word is right now, but connect this with my phone right now. I'd rather keep it with my other phone that I've connected all my Godox lights to. So I'm giving my phone. I have my wrist strap here to hold my phone there. Another light I bring is also my MC from Aperture. This is the only Aperture light I have. And then I just remember I need to put some Magic Arms in here so I can use for this. And this is just an onboard camera light. So, and then I have my drone. But that's basically it. Obviously I bring tripods and monopods, but my setup is actually kind of light. So I say kind of light because it's not one trip grab everything, but it's 2 trips, but like the second trip would be light. So it's not a huge amount of stuff I bring to the wedding. So I'm usually solo. This next one I'm solo, but I've asked my buddy if he wants to join me because he might quit that company as well. And I was like, let's make a real good, dude. You know, let's go all out. So that's my setup.